Okay, so this is how to win at Monopoly Part 2. Okay, so last time we talked about what the cards were worth, and if you remember right, if you watched the other one, that is, I said the two blues, the Pike Place and the Boardwalk, are not worth jack. They're only good for trading purposes, and that's only with new players. Because, especially after you watch a video like this, or if you've learned after time, you'll know that they're not worth anything. They're too bad to build. They're too hard to build up. So, this video we're going to go over technique. So, if you look at these two places, okay, like I just said, worst places on the board, even though, they're the most expensive and they technically pay out the best. That's if you have, I think we did the math and it was like 2,400, no, because we didn't do it with this, it was like, $1,600 to put hotels down. That's a lot of money. And granted, you get your money back basically the first time somebody lands on them. That's hoping they land on them. So, if you see these and you have them, for some reason you got one or both of them, it doesn't really matter if you got, you have them, and somebody else has these. Trade, 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 trade. Almost anybody will take that trade because if you're offering just to take these off the hands for these, anybody will take that. I mean, I've yet to find somebody who won't take that. Now, it takes a little convincing sometimes, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But if you can get these, I almost guarantee you, depending on how much money you have, you'll win. Okay, so now another thing, if you get these, okay, you have a couple of these, one of these, something, and somebody else has the other one or the other two, and they're looking for that one, especially if they have two and you have one. That is the biggest playing card you'll ever have, is that one card. And I can't explain it. It's just because they want to get that monopoly. And they see that yellows has a high dollar monopoly, when really, like I said earlier, it's a piece of crap. So, and then they have these. Okay? Or even like you have one of these or two of these, some mixture. Okay? Like let's say you have one of these, they have the other two. And they have two of these, and you have the other one. Trade them. They will see it as they're getting the monopoly they've been waiting for, and you're just getting some crappy monopoly. Win, you're about to win the game. Now, something that really plays in mind is mind tricks. And you say, well, that's bad. Why would you want to trick somebody's mind? Well, first off, it's pretty fun. But other than that, it helps you win the game. And I mean instantly. Because, and by instantly, I mean like an hour or 2 hours. So, it's pretty instantly for Monopoly. Depending on how late you are in the game. Um, I was out playing with a friend one day, and his sister was playing with us, and we were, um, I had the, I forget how it was set up, but I was trying to get the two light blues, these places from her, and I forget what I actually offered her, and she knew the light blues were good too, and she knew I also, played mind games during Monopoly. She'd been warned of that, and her brother knew better and never made a deal with me. I was actually pretty proud of him. That was amazing, but, um, and I was able to get those off of her. I had the $750 I needed because I was playing a different version. So don't get in the comments, oh, it costs more than $750. I have many monopolies. I wasn't playing this one. So but I had the $750 laying off to the side. I got the two places I need. I smacked down hotels. Boy, her poor brother was smacking himself and about to smack her. It was funny. 2 hours later, I won. Now, technically, because I wiped him off the board. I wiped him off about a half hour, 45 minutes before we actually finished the game. I got the red places off of him. Now, if you'll remember from the other video, I said, don't usually build up too much on these. Well, I already had my other good places built up. I had some extra money. He had them half built up, so I finished building them off. I had chased her down so much, just off the two blues, that she finally landed on that. It killed her. I won. So, one biggest thing, and my buddy, this is what basically killed him other than his sister making the deal she should have never made. 'Cause he would have won too. That's the funny part. If his sister hadn't made the deal with me, he probably would have won. I definitely would have lost because for whatever reason I just could not pick up any cards that game. I kept landing on other properties that weren't mine, or were mine was the biggest problem, or like free parking, or go to jail or something. I just couldn't pick up any properties. Halfway through the game, I had 5 properties. I still came back and won. Now, what what you need to think about is, like, he kept doing this by the end of the game because he kept trying to get people to land on his reds, and it's expensive. It's crazy to build on them. It's $150 to build each house. So he would always like save up his money and plant down a couple of houses, and then he'd come straight into his sister's properties because she had all the expensive ones up on the side of the board, and basically get knocked down money, and he was basically depending on go the entire time. Nobody was landing on his places. Now that's just bad luck. You can't plan for bad luck. That happens, a lot. But I'll get back on that one later. But so he kept building up on them, and that's not good. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you've got the money to, if you're gonna land on somebody's property and it's built up, you want to make sure you have the money to pay them. If you don't, you're screwed. Because you can't count on somebody landing on your place. Now, something like, I'm going to use the board for this one. If you look at, let's see how I can get this. Okay, if you're right here, okay, wait, you knew this camera. Right, if you're right here, okay, and you own these, okay, don't build up on them yet because you still have the rest of the board to go through, and chances are you'll hit somebody else and die. Not good. Now, if your enemy is right there and it's almost their turn, and you've already gone, build, 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 because they're about to land on them, and you're about to make a lot of money. Now, sometimes you'll get unlucky and they'll land, like, right there, or right there. I actually did that a lot. It was funny, because I did that to other people. Or they'll land there and beyond. That sucks. But like I said, that's the bad luck factor. You can't really plan for that. Now, I lost a game actually on my birthday, which was pretty funny, but to my little brother because he kept landing on free parking, and he, I don't know how he did it, but he'd wait till like there were like $10,000 in the freaking free parking and then land. I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating. I'm tired. Exaggerating those numbers all. They're like $10,000 and the free parking each time. And he'd land on him, and I wanted to kill him, and I lost that because I didn't have the money. He had it all. I got hurried up. I'm running low on time. With strategy, once again, it's all mind games. If you can trick somebody into thinking they're getting a better deal, a lot of times at the very beginning they are. Like, I can offer somebody, a full monopoly for them. They have like I said earlier, 1 or 2 good places, the same color, like the 2 yellows, like this, and I'll have this one. I can offer them this. They'll think, oh my god, let's actually even use a better set because I've done this one a whole lot. They've got 2 greens. You got the 3rd. You offer them your 3rd and take something crappy like these 2. You will be better off, depending on how much money they have. Now, that's another thing. Money. If they have a lot of money, like if they have hundreds of dollars, hundreds of thousands, you know what I mean, just lots of money. If you're going to make a deal like this, because you can always get cash when you make this deal too, if you're going to give them this to finish off their monopoly and you're getting just this, add cash in there. Say, alright, I'll give you, North Carolina Avenue, but you got to give me Baltic Avenue and Mediterranean Avenue and $1,000. Depending on how far into the game you are, they'll make that deal. Or they'll butter you down a little bit on the cash, and they'll still make the deal, and they won't have enough money to put down houses. That is basic, mind trickery, and it works a lot, especially if you're playing with a new player. So, I mean, if you can make a deal like that, then you're in the gold because, first off, that means you're smarter than your friends, at least can use their brain against them, and then that's always a good thing. So I think I'm out of time. Um, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll answer them, make a new video, something like that. If you got any questions on how to win another game, ask me. Other than that, have a great day.